Hi, fellow traders. I hope everybody had a great day today. Had another frustrating start to the morning, but ended up the day really, really well. Very, very happy for a change. First time in about 2 weeks, I've been very happy with my day. However, I did get some bad news. I got bought in on the Baba trade I was holding, which hit me for a little over $6,000 in my long-term account, which, I mean, really that isn't much considering, what I'm working with in there. But the fact that it started as a day trade and I allowed it to fester was where the mistake came in. So, that's a lesson learned. But the reason why it stings me so much is I haven't taken, any profit. I haven't closed out any positions in that account this year. And, with this being the first one, obviously when I log in and look at it, it's just, seeing that big red number there, it just kind of, rubbed me the wrong way. So that had me in an attitude this morning. And then AAP, the stock that I was really looking for or looking at, was making a move pre-market, just like Walmart did the day before. And so that added to my level of frustration. So my morning just didn't start out right. And as you can see, it took me a minute to really get my head screwed on tight. But out of all of these, AAP was the one that I focused in on, early. But again, it just made the move pre-market. So SHOP was another one that hit my scan. And the news on this was it was a Class A offering of voting shares, which is a little bit different than a normal secondary offering. But still, I don't like to trade these unless I'm on the front side. Like if we're at the end of the day or after the close and it comes out that this stock is going to have a secondary offering, or it's announcing a secondary offering, I could get in knowing that we bought the tank here for a minute. Everybody's going to panic and sell off their shares. And if I'm short, I'm going to make some money. But as I looked at this, everything about what I found out screamed pump. The news that I saw on it, the way people were talking about it, to me this seems like pumped up. But the company is, in my opinion and for what I see, is strapped for cash and is trying to raise some capital. So I looked to short this, and we had a nice window down to 131 that I thought we could get to today. And kind of like the same deal with Walmart yesterday, but Walmart had a big gap, and I felt we could cover some of that gap. And ironically, it did it today. If you follow Walmart today, it did exactly what we were looking for yesterday. It did today, but I was caught up in this crap. I didn't even think to go back and check. But I was looking for this to come down. So this move today was actually disappointing. Even though I made the bulk of my money on this trade, on this ticker, it just didn't make the move. So initially, my initial plan as I saw this was I need to take this in my swing account so that I could set it and forget it and just let it work all day. Because I felt it was going to fade all day. I felt it was going to give me a little chop, be a little choppy, over VWAP, under VWAP. I felt it would be one of those stocks. So I did. I engaged and I took this short in my swing account, and set it as this was going to be an all-day hold, meaning I'm going to close it at the end of the day. And if I can come back tomorrow, I'll go back to it. But this is going to be an all-day thing. And I did that. But for some reason, I decided that I was going to day trade this too. Don't ask me why. I convinced myself to do it. We talked about this today in our education webinar, is how we can justify anything to ourselves, how we can rationalize whatever's going on and come up with the decision that we want to have versus the right decision. And that's kind of what I did here. So you can look at, here's my day trades. And, I got in right here. Here's the opening candle. Long wick. Okay. And typically if it does this, I'm going to get it using the body. That's going to be my ideal thing. I want to get the body. We were under moving averages, VWAP. So I felt pretty confident we were trending down. Higher lows. I mean lower highs. I'm sorry. Still confused. Lower highs. And I felt good about taking this. And I took it short here. Covered some here. And as we came back, I had to cover some break even. But I got a couple of cent slippage on it because of how volatile this was. So, okay, I'm already mad about AAP. And this kicking me out like this. So I'm like, okay, we'll take this again. So I got in short here under this level. But I waited. I was patient. I wasn't going to get it up here. I waited until we got through this level. We still bounced a little bit. And this was still real choppy. And the whole time I'm thinking to myself about now. I'm in this in my swing account. What the hell are you doing? But I was in it. So I went ahead and, I took profit here on the way down. And when it bounced back up, again, I got a couple of cent slippage on this thing. I mean, it wasn't bad. It was just the volatility here is what was killing it. So after I had that thought, I was like, I'm not trading this anymore. I'm just going to work it. I've got it in my swing account, so we're just going to work it. And we'll go over that trade too here in a minute. But, all in all, it was pretty decent. Did make a decent lick off of this. Nothing to complain about other than it was real choppy. I did take profit here early. There was no reason for me to take profit here. And because I took profit here, I ended up having to stop out here. Now, had I not taken profit here, I would have never gone through this. I would still be in. Took profit here, and took profit probably at 135. And I don't know if I'd have made as much money, but that would have been the smartest trade. What happened here was I wasn't in the best mental state. I was agitated already and just wasn't thinking clearly. So there was no reason for me to take it off here, but I had to take it off here because we were going back to break even. And I didn't want to give up profit to see it skyrocket if it was going to do that. So, after this, I kind of righted the ship and got my head screwed on straight. So that was on SHOP. Now, SLCA, this was on our scan too, but I actually dismissed this at first because I didn't think we were going to be able to do anything with this. So I actually dismissed this. But you can see we had a nice gap down going. But I thought we were going to get stuffed here. And we weren't going to make much of a move. And, I was wrong again. And I ended up catching this on the secondary trade. Beautiful opening range breakdown. I mean, beautiful. Then we had to bounce, and here's a continuation. So I actually traded it here. I got in here, and because this was a lower dollar stock, I got in 1,000 shares and realized I was still not 100% in the game. I was still a little edgy with that. So I ended up covering a little bit before we got to this level. This was my first target, this 26.50. But I took some off a little bit early, and then I took some off at the level, all because I was a little bit edgy. Then took some off here according to plan, and as we came back, took the rest off on a profit stop. So real decent trade on this. I hate I missed the big move, but I'm catching the secondary moves. And these don't typically give the large gaps of profit targets that I look for. So in a sense, you could say I was scalping, but I was piecing out. I wasn't just taking it all off and then getting back in, taking it all off. I was just scaling out. And here we bounced, rejected the 20 here, had to pull back, and I waited again until we got under this level, and I shorted it and don't know what the heck I was doing here. Another kind of loose trade here. I just wasn't in it in day trading today. It just wasn't working. And then I got short again here on this rejection. Covered some here. Then as this came back, got stopped out at break even. Then I got back in again. Covered some down here. And then on the bounce, it took me out at break even. And that was the end of the frustrating day trading day. But locked in some decent profit. I can't complain about that. Sorry guys, had a technical issue here. But that was the SLCA trade. And then this one was really dumb. Okay. I talked myself into this because before I left the room to go get my son, I was like, you know what? I think this has room to fade all the way down to this level. And I'm like, I may want to take this. So I left, got in the car, and logged into my computer and just took the trade. Like, without even thinking. And just got in. And that, I thought having Wi-Fi in my car would be the saving grace. But I see now this is probably going to be the death of me, because there's no reason for me to do this. Even though it did work out, there was no reason for me to do this. And I didn't need to do this. I didn't need to trade. So this goes to as an example of what we talked about today in our webinar. This was just plain and simple over trading, because there was no reason for me to take this whatsoever. I don't have the 100-day on my charts, on the little computer I take with me in the car. So I didn't see the 100-day sitting here. I thought it was just a clean trade. Now I see what it bounced off of. But when I got back, I went ahead and just took it off. Should have left it on and got a little bit more, but this was just a dumb trade. There's no reason for me to do this at all. I was still pissed off because of this big old move. Pre-market. I wanted this long initially. I really did. looking at everything, I'm like, I want to take this long. And we didn't have any volume here, so I wasn't getting in. But it made all of this on no volume practically. And there's no way I was taking this up here. So I just had to sit back and watch this thing just really, go without me. And I tried to get some back on this, but just didn't work. So dumb trade, but still made, some money on it. So all together in day trading, in my day trading account, 936.17 is what we did. I mean, I'm not, on the one hand, I'm pleased, but on the other hand, I'm not real pleased with what I did. So here's the shop where I did in the swing trade. I got it early pre-market, and my first target was supposed to be 134.50, and I'm getting in. I'm trying to set, my orders, and as usual, I have a market order instead of a limit, and it takes off half here, which is fine. I didn't mind that. And then as we were coming in, I went ahead and took it off because I knew we were going to get a bounce. And I said, when I get the bounce, I just want to get in it and let it sit all day. Because here I kind of got messed up. And here I just wanted to get in and just let it go all day and just take profit. So I did that. I got short here, back up under this. And, it did come up and ride along VWAP and all of this for a while. But I wasn't watching it anymore. I had taken it off my day trading platform. I wasn't watching it. So when I got back from getting my son, we were right here around 133.75. And I was like, I better take some, because I don't know if this is going to continue to wash or not. So I took some off here, and then my target was 133. That was my final target. That was my target from my final target from even when I got in up here. My target was 133. And so I got out, right before the close. And after the close, we dropped a whole nother point. So I left that on the table. But I feel I got the meat of this move. And when I can get this is exactly what I wanted to do. I just couldn't. Well, number one, I couldn't get in the size I wanted to because I'm still in SCG, 1,000 shares. And I couldn't get in the size I wanted to on this. And just had to work it the way I could. But it turned out real good. I'm real happy with that. Now, yesterday, this is still the same SCG that I've been managing for the last couple weeks. I've taken profit on this 3 times. I added back yesterday. I know if you look at earnings, you'll see that earnings on SCG comes out tomorrow. And typically, I never hold into earnings. But I feel like I'm more intimately familiar with this stock because this is a local company here in Colombia. There's been some foul play, so to speak. Some attempts to manipulate people in the legislature through fake emails and all of that, trying to promote this deal. So I think before it's all said and done, that deal might not happen. And there's no way, they're really in bad shape right now because they owe a lot of people a lot of money. And so for me, I feel, comfortable holding it. But if it does gap up on me and I lose some money on it, so be it. Because since October or August, I have made a killing off of this stock. If you guys have been following me since back then, you know I started shorting this as soon as that story came out about them abandoning that nuclear plant project, because I knew everything that was involved. And so they're going to have to reimburse the citizens that were paying into it, the residents, that were paying into the project, because in order for them to pay into the project, it had to be approved by our state legislature. So all of this stuff is coming in. So, that's why I feel pretty comfortable holding this. I'm talking in the wrong chart. As you can see, this was the second hit on this. I rode this thing all the way down, from all the way back up, well over 60. And I got back in on this crazy story. It gapped up when the news came out about, I can't remember the name of it right now, the other utility company merging with them or buying them out. And, I've been shorting it since the day after this news came out, because I knew what was all involved in this company going together. And I knew a lot of stuff on the backside that SCG was going to have to deal with. So that's just my take on it. My humble opinion. Obviously, I'm not a licensed financial advisor or anything like that, so you can take what I say with a grain of salt. But that's just my thought process going into this. So that was my day today. Real nice day. Coming back after 2 red days in a row. Or I don't know what was Friday a red day. I don't even know. I don't even remember last week. I know yesterday I was red. But we'll see going forward. Tomorrow's going to be a kind of a short day for me, I believe, depending on how the doctor appointments go. But I'm still looking for a good day tomorrow. So you guys have a great night, great evening, and I will see you first thing in the morning.